Hi, I'm Susan Bairley with Michigan Golfer here at Eastern Michigan University, talking with one of my favorite people, Shirley Spork. And Shirley is a co-founder of the LPGA, and what I'd like to do today, Shirley, is talk with you about your co-founders and your memories of your co-founders. And I actually made a list of the 12 other members who signed the charter. And I guess I'd like to start, kind of just do it in alphabetical order, but the Bauer sisters, it's hard to talk about one without talking about the other, isn't it?
Well, Alice and Marlene Bauer came from, they were born and raised in North or South Dakota, and their father moved to the Long Beach and started a driving range, and he started teaching them, and they became proficient as amateur golfers, and he and his wife, or mom and dad, drove them around the country giving exhibitions.
Ireland and the Ryder Cup of 2006.
Yes, what a wonderful year. Well, that was the successor to Oakland Hills, where we might remember that the United States got hammered by the Europeans. And although everybody had a good time, Hal Sutton was the captain at the time, and he unfortunately paired Tiger and Phil Mickelson, who did not like each other, and they were the first group out, and they got hammered by Padraig Harrington and Colin Montgomery, and that set the tone, and we got beat bad by a record score. So the next 2 years later, went over to Dublin to the K Club, and you're responsible for that. What happened then?
Oh, I think it was a repeat, wasn't it?
And the weather was terrible.
Yeah, Paul, what are your memories of that week?
I remember going in there, and like you say, Jack, the weather reminded me a lot of Michigan. I mean, we had sun, rain, wind, sleet, sun again, all the same day.
Hi, this is Susan Bairley, and I'm talking with Bill Shilladay. He's one of the greenskeepers here at the K Club in County Kildare, Ireland. Bill, this is a tournament that's going to be kind of tough on the course, isn't it, with all the pedestrian traffic?
Absolutely, it is, especially here in Ireland with the weather that we've got at the moment. It's going to be very tough on the course. Yep.
How do you plan for that, and how do you handle it when it's over?
We plan for it. We plan for rain, and if we get sunshine, it's a bonus. So we've got a lot of wood chip and a lot of ground cover to put down for pedestrian traffic. And after the tournament, it's all hands on deck to clean.
And I do recall going over there saying, wow, what an amazingly American-style golf course, this Arnold Palmer K Club, setting the table for us Americans. And then we walked out, 18.5 to 9.5 or something. We got fleeced again. But I have to admit, the Irish people were so excited about hosting their very first world event. They had no World Cup there, no rugby things. This Ryder Cup was their first major invitation to the world, and why did they ever take care of us? It almost felt like an honor to get fleeced. And those three Irish players, McGinley and Darren Clark, of course, who just lost his wife before that, and Padraig Harrington, you mentioned, they all played so well, and they were playing for their country. It's nothing like that.
Susan Bairley with the Michigan Golfer, talking about the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame and inductee Dorothy Higbee. I remember doing some research on Dorothy, and she was an amazing golfer. She and Violet Hanley were a couple of powerful amateurs in the Detroit area. Shirley Spork is here with us today and would like to share some of her memories of Dorothy as well.
Well, I was fortunate to play in the Detroit District Association weekly events, and I played with Dorothy Higbee, and I researched some of the history on Dorothy Higbee, and in 1932 she was chosen to be the alternate to play for the Curtis Cup team in Europe.
Among the people who have come to celebrate the Bears' 25th anniversary is Susan Bairley. How are you doing, Susan?
Just great, Jenny. It's so great to be here.
Do you remember playing the bear the first time?
I do. It was a very cold and windy day. This sounds like one of those old Irish stories. It was a cold, dark, and windy day. No, it can't be dark, but it was very cold. And I remember going into the pro shop and buying a pair of those great big red mittens and going all through the course and having it just pour rain on 15, starting on 15. And it was quite a bear of a day.
Hi, I'm Susan Bairley with the Michigan Golfer, and I'm here with a longtime colleague and friend, Jack Barry. Hi, Jack.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, Susan.
We were just talking a little bit about back in the day. I mean, you've been a legendary writer. You worked with both daily newspapers, correct?
Right.
Detroit News and the Detroit Free Press. I know for when I first got to know you, you were one of the two Jacks.
That's right. Barrajacks, Sailor and Barry.
That's right. That's right. And then you also were an officer with the Golf Writers Association of America.
Well, I was president of that for a couple of years, and I was the one who got the women members into the men's locker room at the Augusta National.
Hey, now that's something. That's fabulous. Thank you. Susan Bairley here with Michigan Golfer, and we're talking about the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame. And Sally Sessions, who was inducted into the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame, and I'm here with Shirley Spork, who's sharing some of her memories of Sally.
About this? Well, Sally Sessions is from Muskegon, Michigan, where they have a 9-hole golf course. And prior to the LPGA, as an amateur, I played there, and we had to play the course twice around, and Patty Berg won that tournament as a pro. She was a pro from the PGA, you know, so it was before the LPGA. Sally lived in Detroit. She was a concert pianist. She loved music. She's a good player. Played in our state, won our state championship. Detroit District. She played the Detroit District in the late 40s. She contacted leukemia and died at a very young age.
Teresa Zamboni, she is an LPGA teaching professional, and she's also you have had the distinction of being Teacher of the Year.
Yes, for the LPGA.
Yeah, and she is here today representing Nancy Lopez Golf Adventures, a new program that she's involved with. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what the main goal of that program is?
Oh, absolutely. It's an honor to be here, and we are focusing on bringing the fun back into the golf world. Play happy is our motto, and we do that in a variety of activities, both instruction, adventures, trips, all based around Nancy Lopez's father's philosophy of playing happy.
Okay, Susan Bairley here with Michigan Golfer, and I'm here with Shirley Spork, who was inducted into the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame several years ago, and I wanted to get your thoughts about that induction ceremony. You came here to participate.
Yes, it is, isn't it? I was really thrilled when that happened, because then I was with Sally Sessions and Mrs. Higbee and I think Meg Mellon, a lot of greats in the game, and the memorabilia that was there present, I gave them a shadow box with all little buttons from playing in the Women's Western Amateur and playing it, and there's a Michigan State Normal button in there, a little button that something we played in, and there was a quilt made, and on the quilt was each of our names in the women's. They had a women's section, which was really neat to see.
Teresa Zamboni was a keynote speaker today at the 4th Michigan Women's Golf Summit. We had 140 women and men attend the summit, and it was a resurgence of an effort that began many years ago. So it was a full day, included such things as a rules clinic, golf instruction, some tips, fitness,
and also a leadership panel which focused on some of the key issues that are important to women in Michigan golf. Happy to see this event revived and refreshed, and we hope that it continues to flourish in the next years to come. Key in this endeavor were the Golf Association of Michigan, Tanya Laird, also the Michigan Women's Golf Association. Sarah Wald has been involved with these summits from the very beginning, and she was on the steering committee for this one as well. Also, Jeannie Myers with USGA presented 2 rules sessions, and she also was at the first session, along with Janina Jacobs, who talked about course management and etiquette. She too was one of the early people on this with this endeavor. So it is again a fantastic effort. Team Rehab was one of our sponsors, along with GAM, the Michigan Women's Golf Association, the Executive Women's Golf Association, and the Women's Metropolitan Golf Association as well. Super event. Sorry to see it end.